Hello everyone and welcome to the Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Adam Newman might take matters into his own hands and wipe Matt Clark off the map. Could Adam step up to protect Nick Newman when things get out of hand in Vegas? Based on Sienna Bacall's information in the March 10th episode, Matt's storyline will link to Adam's past through a woman named Riza Thomas. It turns out Riza is tangled up in all the drug drama with Matt, who was serving as the funnel for someone on the Vegas Strip. That someone was apparently Riza, who's now hiding Matt if Sienna's intel turns out to be correct. Riza was also a friend of Adam's back when he was living as Spider and helped him out with a cover-up. Adam killed a guy to protect Chance Chancellor and then paid off the man's widow to avoid going to prison. Although Adam didn't mean for the situation to turn deadly, he was still responsible for a fatality thanks to how it all went down. Of course, Y&R fans may also recall that Adam killed AJ Montalvo to protect his mother once upon a time, so this has been a recurring theme for Adam. Could Y&R revisit that theme now that Adam's headed to Vegas with Nick? After Nick and Sharon Newman take what they've learned from Sienna to Adam, he'll investigate and presumably figure out Riza's current location. That could leave Nick prepping for another face-off with Matt. Adam will visit Vegas with Nick soon and perhaps assure Sharon that he'll have his brothers back. Since Adam is all about Newman family loyalty these days, he might step up to save Nick from Matt's vengeful wrath. Nick still isn't at the top of his game despite his claims that his leg is doing better. It also seems like Nick's getting addicted to fentanyl, so that isn't going to help as he heads into this final showdown with Matt. What if Adam once again kills to protect someone? We could certainly imagine Adam causing Matt's grim fate if Nick's life is in jeopardy, so that's an option to keep in mind. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Adam may come through for Nick when he needs it most, so stay tuned for any wild news and heated confrontations. In the ever-turbulent world of the Young and the Restless, the storm clouds gathering over the Newman family promise danger, secrets, and a reckoning that may once again force Adam Newman to confront the darker corners of his past. Rumors swirl that Adam could soon take matters into his own hands in a way that would permanently silence the growing threat posed by Matt Clark. The tension begins to build as the pieces of a much larger puzzle fall into place, hinting that the conflict is about to shift far beyond Genoa City and into the neon-lit chaos of Las Vegas. What starts as scattered information slowly evolves into a chilling possibility that Adam may once again be forced to cross a line he knows all too well. For a man who has spent years battling both his enemies and his own reputation, the looming confrontation promises consequences that could echo through every corner of his life. And if fate pushes him too far, the outcome for Matt Clark may be far darker than anyone expects. The first sparks of this unfolding drama come from a revelation delivered by Sienna Bacall during the March 10th episode, when she shares information that unexpectedly ties Matt Clark to a shadowy chapter of Adam's history. According to Sienna, Matt's current storyline doesn't exist in isolation. It connects directly to someone Adam once knew during one of the most secretive and complicated periods of his life. That connection comes in the form of a woman named Riza Thomas. The name alone carries the weight of buried memories because Riza wasn't simply a passing acquaintance. She was part of Adam's world during the time he was living under the alias Spider, a life he built far from Genoa City and far from the man he once was. As Sienna's intel unfolds, it becomes clear that Riza is deeply entangled in the dangerous web surrounding Matt Clark and the growing drug drama connected to the Vegas Strip. The deeper the truth is uncovered, the darker the situation appears. Matt Clark has apparently been acting as a funnel for someone operating within the shadows of the Vegas underworld, moving substances and maintaining connections that stretch across the Strip's glittering nightlife. But according to Sienna's information, the person standing behind it all is none other than Riza Thomas herself. If the intel proves accurate, Riza isn't just connected to Matt. She's the one pulling the strings while he carries out the risky work. And now, with pressure closing in from multiple directions, it appears she may even be hiding Matt from the people searching for him. The realization sends a ripple of unease through everyone involved, because Riza's presence ties the current danger directly to Adam's complicated past. Old alliances, long-buried secrets, and unfinished business suddenly feel very much alive again. For Adam, the name Riza Thomas brings back memories of a time when survival often meant bending rules and walking the edge of disaster. During the years when he lived as Spider, Riza was more than just an acquaintance. She was someone who once helped him navigate a crisis that could have destroyed his life. In fact, she played a role in one of the most haunting chapters of Adam's past, a situation that spiraled out of control with tragic consequences. In that moment long ago, Adam killed a man while trying to protect Chance Chancellor. The event was never meant to end in death, but circumstances escalated until there was no turning back. Afterward, desperate to avoid prison and keep the truth from destroying everything around him, Adam paid off the dead man's widow. It was a desperate act, born from fear and responsibility, but the emotional scars of that night have never truly faded. The weight of that memory lingers because even though Adam never intended for the confrontation to become fatal, the fact remains that a life was lost due to the chaos that unfolded. It is a burden he has carried quietly for years, one that shaped the way people see him and the way he sees himself. And yet, for longtime fans of the Newman saga, this wouldn't be the first time Adam crossed such a devastating line. In another dark chapter of his life, he once killed A.J. Montalvo while protecting his mother, Hope Adams. That moment reinforced a troubling pattern in Adam's life. When someone he loves is in danger, he is willing to go further than most people ever could. Protection, loyalty, and desperation have always been forces capable of pushing him toward irreversible decisions. Now, as new information continues to surface, the question begins to loom larger than ever. Is history about to repeat itself? The possibility becomes even more real when Nick Newman and Sharon Newman bring what they've learned from Sienna directly to Adam. Their conversation is heavy with urgency because the clues point toward a looming confrontation that could erupt at any moment. Once Adam processes the details, he begins investigating the situation himself, determined to uncover the truth behind Riza's involvement and Matt Clark's whereabouts. Piece by piece, the trail begins leading toward Las Vegas, where the secrets of the past and the dangers of the present seem destined to collide. If Adam manages to track down Riza's current location, it could bring everyone one step closer to the explosive showdown that now feels inevitable. As the investigation intensifies, Nick prepares himself for another direct encounter with Matt Clark, a man whose growing desperation makes him more unpredictable by the day. The tension between them has already reached dangerous levels, and another face-off could easily spiral into violence. That looming threat becomes even more alarming when Adam decides he will accompany Nick to Vegas. Before leaving, he may offer reassurance to Sharon, promising that he will stand by his brother no matter what happens. In recent months, Adam has embraced a renewed sense of loyalty to the Newman family, determined to prove that he can be someone they rely on rather than someone they fear. Standing beside Nick in this dangerous moment feels like the ultimate test of that commitment. But beneath the surface, there are troubling signs that Nick may not be as ready for this confrontation as he claims. Despite insisting that his injured leg is improving, the truth is far more complicated. His recovery has been slow and painful, leaving him physically vulnerable in ways he may not fully admit. Even more concerning are the hints that Nick may be developing a dangerous dependence on fentanyl, a problem that could cloud his judgment and weaken his ability to defend himself. Heading into a high-stakes confrontation while battling both physical pain and a growing addiction could place him in serious danger. For Adam, watching his brother walk into that situation may awaken the same protective instincts that have shaped so many of his past choices. And that is where the looming question becomes impossible to ignore. What if the only way to save Nick is for Adam to act in the most extreme way possible? The possibility hangs in the air as the journey to Las Vegas begins, a silent reminder of the dangerous history Adam carries with him. If Matt Clark's thirst for revenge pushes the situation too far, Adam could find himself standing at the edge of another life or death moment. In that instant, all the promises he has made about changing his life could collide with the raw instinct to protect his family at any cost. If Nick's life hangs in the balance, Adam may not hesitate to do whatever is necessary, even if it means once again becoming the man everyone fears. As the stage is set for this explosive confrontation, the tension surrounding the Newman brothers grows stronger with every passing moment. Vegas awaits with its dazzling lights and hidden dangers, promising a meeting that could end in chaos, betrayal, or something far more permanent. Whether Adam ultimately crosses that line again remains uncertain, but the pattern in his past suggests the possibility cannot be dismissed. When the moment of truth arrives, he may prove just how far he is willing to go for family. And if that moment does come, Matt Clark's fate could be sealed in the most shocking way imaginable. For now, viewers can only brace themselves, because the next chapter of this story promises wild twists, heated confrontations, and a decision that could change everything for the Newman family forever. As the plan begins to take shape, an uneasy silence settles over the Newman circle, the kind that only forms when everyone senses that the path ahead could lead somewhere irreversible. Adam Newman studies every detail that Nick Newman and Sharon Newman have gathered from Sienna Bacall, carefully piecing together the fragments of a dangerous story. The more he examines the information, the more convinced he becomes that the trail truly leads back to Reza Thomas. It's a realization that carries both urgency and dread, because Reza represents more than just a lead in the investigation. She represents a ghost from a past Adam has spent years trying to outrun. The name alone brings flashes of old decisions, desperate nights, and a life lived under the alias Spider, when survival often meant navigating a world where the lines between right and wrong blurred dangerously. As Adam reflects on those memories, the tension in the room thickens, because everyone can see that the man standing before them is wrestling with the weight of history while preparing for the possibility that it may soon repeat itself. Meanwhile, far from the safety of Genoa City, the neon lights of Las Vegas glow like a warning beacon in the distance, promising both answers and trouble in equal measure. Somewhere within that glittering maze of casinos and crowded streets, Matt Clark is hiding, protected by the very woman who once helped Adam bury a terrible secret. According to Sienna's intel, Matt has been serving as the funnel for a drug operation linked directly to Reza, quietly moving dangerous substances through the pulse of the Vegas Strip. What once looked like a small-time scheme now appears to be something much larger, and the stakes surrounding Matt's survival are rising quickly. The possibility that Reza is actively hiding him suggests that she understands just how dangerous the situation has become. It also means that when Nick and Adam arrive in Vegas, they may be stepping directly into a carefully guarded operation where trust is scarce and violence is always lurking just beneath the surface. Before the journey even begins, Adam finds himself making a quiet promise, one that speaks volumes about the man he has become. In a moment of calm determination, he reassures Sharon that he will stand beside Nick no matter what happens once they reach Vegas. The vow isn't dramatic or loud, but its meaning resonates deeply, especially coming from someone whose relationship with the Newman family has often been defined by conflict and suspicion. Over time, Adam has been trying to prove that his loyalty to the family is real, that the darkness in his past does not define who he must always be. Standing with Nick during this dangerous mission feels like an opportunity to demonstrate that commitment once and for all. Yet beneath that determination lies an unspoken understanding. If the situation spirals out of control, Adam may be forced to make a choice that will once again test the limits of his morality. As the brothers prepare to face whatever awaits them in Vegas, another troubling reality quietly shadows their plans. Despite Nick's insistence that his injured leg is improving, there are signs that the recovery has been far from smooth. Every movement still carries a hint of pain, and though he tries to mask it with stubborn determination, the strain is obvious to anyone paying close attention. More concerning still are the whispers that Nick may be relying too heavily on fentanyl to manage the discomfort, a dependence that could cloud his instincts at the worst possible moment. The combination of physical vulnerability and chemical reliance makes the upcoming confrontation even more dangerous than it already seemed. If Nick isn't at his full strength when he finally faces Matt Clark, the outcome could shift in unpredictable and potentially devastating ways. For Adam, that possibility lingers heavily in the back of his mind as the plan moves forward. His history has proven time and again that when someone he loves is in danger, he is capable of making choices others would never even consider. Long-time followers of The Young and the Restless know that Adam's life has been marked by moments where protection and tragedy collided. Years ago, in a desperate attempt to shield Chance Chancellor, Adam became responsible for a man's death, an event that forced him into a desperate cover-up that still haunts him today. And even earlier than that, he once killed A.J. Montalvo while trying to protect his mother, Hope Adams. These moments reveal a complicated truth about Adam's character. He does not seek violence, but when pushed to the brink, he will do whatever he believes is necessary to defend the people he cares about. That history casts a long shadow over the impending trip to Las Vegas, turning the journey into more than just a search for answers. It becomes a test of whether Adam can truly escape the cycle that has followed him for so long. If Matt Clark's thirst for revenge pushes him into attacking Nick, the situation could escalate in a matter of seconds. In that moment, Adam may find himself standing once again at the crossroads between restraint and survival. The thought alone sends a ripple of tension through the story because everyone knows that when lives are on the line, Adam's protective instincts can override every promise he has made about changing his ways. As the narrative edges closer to its explosive climax, the anticipation grows heavier with every passing moment. Somewhere in the sprawling heart of Vegas, Matt Clark waits, possibly unaware that two Newman brothers are closing in on him with determination and unfinished business. The reunion between Adam and Reza Thomas could reopen wounds that were never truly healed, forcing both of them to confront secrets they thought were safely buried. At the same time, Nick's fragile condition threatens to turn what should be a calculated confrontation into something far more chaotic. Every thread of the story tightens together, weaving a tense web of loyalty, revenge, and survival that feels ready to snap. And when that inevitable confrontation finally arrives, the outcome may depend on a single decision made in the heat of the moment. If Matt's rage places Nick's life in immediate danger, Adam could once again be pushed toward the kind of drastic action that has defined some of the darkest chapters of his life. In that split second, there may be no time for hesitation, no opportunity for second chances. The only thing that will matter is protecting his brother. If that moment comes, the fate of Matt Clark could be sealed forever, and Adam Newman may once again carry the burden of a choice made in the name of family. In the dramatic world of The Young and the Restless, such choices rarely fade quietly into the past, and whatever happens in Vegas may change the Newman family forever.